welcome. He's an AEW superstar. The very first World Series Wrestling Hall of Fame recipient. He's the Machine, Brian Cage.
Either way you try to play a tombstone, they gon' write your name. Flatliner, the owner of your smile face. You think that you can try to change the outcome, but you're miles away. Maybe now's the time to say your prayers and fight your faith. Hit him in the head on the power man with an iron fist on the side of your face. Leave you with his head like an iron lace. Then lift you like his child's play. The world's gonna learn when I light the flame. But aim into your eyes like a blinded rage. I know you in the fight with a fire, I'll stand. I get my shit in. Watch my business. Don't make me think you want my list. Go ahead and beg you for forgiveness. Like a machine, I'm a Terminator. I learn the day to seek out and destroy you. And turn them over with the Terminator. All around best. A suitcase kickers.
Defender tonight. And we've got champions and former champions alike. Warbeard, the team of Matt Basso and Eric Redbeard, who just recently lost their tag team gold, will be going 2-on-2 against the Armstrongs, Jeff
And his opponent.
And let's not forget, tonight we also have recently signed Matthew
Weighing in
Hayter
today
from
at
Adelaide, South Australia,
175
taking on
pounds.
TMDK member and Queensland, South Australia, hero everywhere to Australia, Robbie Eagles. Now, of course, let's talk a little about what's in front of us here. As you can see, Speedball Mike Bailey now making his way to the ring. An important fact to note here, Mike Bailey weighs in at 174 pounds. Brian Cage, just for a bit of difference, 274 pounds. There's 100 pounds of difference between these two men here tonight. Not only that, I have it on good authority that directly after this match, Speedball is jumping on a plane, flying over to Japan to compete into NJPW, and then flying back to the rest of the World Series Wrestling Tour. What is that? I am speechless that someone can he teleport? Can he teleport, Sean? Mike Bailey will be indeed challenging for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title held by Takahashi alongside Leo Rush in triple threat action, but of course he cannot think that far ahead. We have the Drill Claw to contend with, the Machine, Brian Cage. 3 seconds and it's all over. Just remember, the last time we were here in Adelaide, Brian Cage was this close to defeating Matt Cardona and becoming a two-time world champion. I don't think Matt Cardona can be defeated, Sean. I think we established that last time, that he doesn't get defeated, he simply allows things to happen. You can hear the electricity on this crowd. To begin with here, we are locked, cocked, and ready to unload in this opening bout. I mean, that's an interesting term of phrase there. It's an Adelaide one. Is it? I don't recall hearing that, and I don't think I want to again. Brian Cage, the Machine, up against Speedball, Mike Bailey. Both these men have held the Impact X Division title, but you'll find two very different styles, two very different forms of attacks. You have speed and agility against brute force and power. Now, I don't think you heard that, Sean, but the audience here in Adelaide was chanting, "Brian's gonna kill you." And Speedball Mike Bailey was like, "Yeah, come on, bring it. Come on, Adelaide. Let's hear it." He was goading them on. He's up for a challenge, and no matter what form it takes. Kind of interesting, you look at Brian Cage's journey here in World Series Wrestling. I'll throw a number at you, 1,362. Oh. That is the amount of days that Brian Cage and Flip Gordon held the World Series Wrestling Tag Team titles. This is the first time in quite a while that Brian Cage has to branch out as a singles competitor. What was that number again? 1,362. Interesting fact, it's also the amount of muscles that Brian Cage has on his body. So, I doubt it. We can see every single one of them. It's a feeling out process here at the moment. Both men taking their time, allowing to feed off the audience. Get that excitement. You can hear it here. It's palpable through your laptop screens here. Both these men, no stranger to each other. It was just last night that they faced off in triple threat action against the Australian champion, TJP. Both men looking to accumulate some gold this time round in the Full Throttle tour here, and that is not going to do it from Mike Bailey. It's going to take more than a shoulder block to take down the machine, but damn sure he's going to try.
You mentioned a clash of styles there before, Sean, and we saw a perfect example of it there. Speedball Mike Bailey is heavily influenced, has a huge background in Taekwondo. You'll see those flashy kicks, you'll see those spinning heels, you'll see all types of feet offense, because that's where his background is. Whereas you got Brian Cage, who's just a mountain. He'll just charge through. In fact, Speedball will be lucky if his legs don't break if one of them kicks connect.
That's exactly it. Mike Bailey, if he wants to go one-on-one and Brian Cage, he's going to have to use that martial arts background, that speed, that agility. He's going to have to take to the skies. But that's no small feat as well, because one thing you'll know about Brian Cage, deceptively quick. The man is lightning fast. No man that size should be able to move that speedily.
It's just not fair. It's like he's hogging all the talent and all the charisma for everyone else. And I, for one, feel slighted.
Now you can see now. Oh, I was going to say that Brian Cage has kind of brought things down to his speed, but not so fast here as Speedball gets to pick up the pace here and that educated feet that you're talking about, Ben. And now up and over, Brian Cage down to the outside. Has him scouted. Brian Cage had that scouted. Picks up like a rag doll and now in that powerbomb position.
Oh! Hurricanrana almost right into that ring post.
Using the ring post to your advantage. Use anything to your advantage, really. Liu Kang-like kicks. Mortal Kombat employed here. And now what has Mike Bailey got sized up here? Bailey taking a tour of his own around the ring, coming full throttle. Around it, Brian Cage in a drop kick. Right onto the jaw.
Now, I'd say that's more of a fly kick, if you ask me. That was one very, very well-placed kick to the throat. And again, you attack that trachea, you're going to have a hard time breathing. And I mean, I've never been in the ring professionally before, but I imagine it to be very cardio intense. You're going to need to be able to breathe, Sean.
Potentially so, Ben. Now here, as we talked about, Mike Bailey going where he is absolutely comfortable, taking to the skies. Sizing Brian Cage up. Again, hasn't scouted.
Oh! Sending him right back into that corner. And Brian Cage making one in return.
Another well-placed kick. And now the spinning DDT off the top rope there. Brian Cage with an aerial assault of his own. This is the thing about these kinds of tours. You do get an opportunity to scout your opponent up close and personal. These two got to do so last night. They're basically having another go-around. There's no title on the line, bragging rights, and who knows what happens at the rest of this tour. Maybe another shot at the Australian title, maybe the world title.
You have to think that every single win counts in World Series Wrestling. Adrian Monero would be watching very, very closely to see how this crowd responds to these wrestlers. And who knows who will get the opportunity down the line.
Only halfway through this tour here, 6 cities over the weekend. If you haven't checked it out by now, we have our 2 Melbourne shows that have happened in the past 2 nights. Still plenty more to go as Mike Bailey crumpled up in the corner here, straight for the count.
Maybe not many more for Mike Bailey if he keeps taking shots like that. My goodness.
See, Brian Cage continues the assault here, straight ground and pound style here.
Now it's a hold, but you have to believe that massive bicep is just cutting off every bit of air up to the brain there.
See, this is the perfect way to slow down your opponent, sap their energy, sap their strength. Even if Bailey happens to escape his hold, the energy that he's having to exert just to break the tremendous arms of the machine. Again, coming forth and cut to the quick there. This pace now slows down to where Cage likes it. He wants to be able to manhandle his opponent, take his time, chew them apart, spit them out. And again now, insult to injury here.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Who says you can't get a workout in the ring at the same time? Get a bit of a pump going on. Brian Cage, the Machine, ladies and gentlemen, former World Series Wrestling World Champion.
And I believe the first inductee to the World Series Wrestling Hall of Fame.
That's exactly right. For the very first time World Series Wrestling, we had our Hall of Fame ceremony. Brian Cage, a mainstay of the promotion. Oh! caught in there with a Northern Lights suplex and 2 count. I'm not sure how much he got all of that, but he did use Speedball's momentum to his advantage.
Now, if you're a Speedball at this time, you'd surely be thinking what he has to do to put this man down. Like, really, what can you possibly do? Cage doesn't look bothered at all.
Here we
Toe
go.
drop hold.
Hung up on the ropes here. This might be the opportunity we're talking about here. Speedball has a chance now against the rope.
No!
Oh.
Brian Cage.
Axe handle smash. We may be looking for a little bit of an area code coming up. The biggest 619 you'll find this side of Australia.
Now, usually I'd be saying, is it smart to be posturing to the audience as much as Brian Cage is at the moment? But Sean, he seems to have this match firmly in hand.
Thing you'll find about Brian Cage in Australia, he feeds off that energy. He needs it. We may be looking at F5 territory here. And Speedball countering with a DDT, earning himself some much-needed reprieve. You have to know when to go on the attack and keep your opponent grounded, and when to take those precious few moments to regain that stamina, that energy, and work out what your next plan of attack is.
Speedball lining him up, kick to the midsection. Oh, axe kick right across the back of the head. Oh, and a stiff shot right to the sternum.
Talk about that Taekwondo background that Mike Bailey has coming into play here. Standing shooting star press. One count. Brian Cage firmly and with authority kicking out and gets a well-placed kick for his troubles.
Oh, what would you call that? Shooting star?
Double stomp, a knee stomp.
Knee stomp? That'll do.
Shooting star knee stomp.
Trademark that. Well, missed. Into the ropes.
Now hanging out on the apron here, Brian Cage jumping. Oh my God! Moonsault plunger from the outside. Mike Bailey took a calculated risk, assumed Brian Cage was going to be straight to the outside, and it connected. High risk, high reward. The crowd sums it up perfectly here tonight. Referee employing the 10 count. Of course, this is not a no DQ match. Both these men can indeed be counted out. Talk about wins and losses. Draws are very much in effect.
I guess at this point, if you're a Speedball Mike Bailey, you just want to get in there and hope that Brian Cage doesn't get in so you can get the win.
That's it. A count out is still a victory. No shame in it. Do whatever you can to get the win. Brian Cage in the last few seconds now. Oh, trying to trip him up there. Gets him caught up on the apron, and now there's the precarious position for Brian Cage.
Oh. Well, had he stopped a monster fronting rampant?
Oh my God! Again, that well-placed double knee strike, and oh, good Lord. We've seen this before, the pure strength on display.
He picked him up from outside.
Super duperplex from Brian Cage.
Oh, and he kicked out. Speedball, Mike Bailey kicked out, my goodness.
Sheer strength from Brian Cage and sheer will from Mike Bailey to kick out there just then. We are in the opening contest here in Full Throttle, the Adelaide leg, Brian Cage, Speedball Mike Bailey. The implications going forward on this tour are astronomical. What it could mean going forward. Both these men want to prove their mettle.
Not only this tour, let me just remind you again, straight after this match, Speedball's off to the airport to fly to Japan to compete over there. How is that not playing on his mind in this match against someone like Brian Cage?
That's exactly it. You're only as good as your current match, really, and Mike Bailey needs to make sure he's got all his effort, all his energy, all his focus on Brian Cage.
He needs to make sure he's got all his limbs, Sean. Brian Cage is going to rip him off.
Oh! I wonder how effective that's going to be against the machine here. He's laughing it off. It's egging him on here. Speedball going to take a shot now. Jesus.
Didn't even flinch. Did not even flinch.
So I just don't know simply how wise this is here. Maybe ego getting the better of a Speedball here. There we go. You can't chop. Kick the hell out of your opponent. Oh my God.
Brian Cage agrees. Lifting him up.
Up and over. Oh my God.
Oh!
pump knee, well placed kick, good God! Thunderous lariat! Brian Cage taking out Speedball Mike Bailey. Both men on the floor once again.
I don't even think Speedball knows what's going on. I think that was instincts alone that he was able to pull that out. All his training over all the years in martial arts, not only in wrestling, have taught him to I'm speechless. I'm speechless by what I just saw, Sean.
Look at this. All the training in the world you can have, whether it's martial arts, whether it's in the ring here. How do you prepare for a 274-pound monster like Brian Cage? Sizing him up here. Oh! Caught once more. Caught again. Now starting to build. Oh my God! Tornado claw from Brian Cage. And perhaps now setting him up. Looking for the drill claw. Up.
That's a roll up.
1, 2. Oh, so close. Now again, just relentless in his assault here. From almost a third away from the ring there, that powerbomb straight into the corner, potentially going for a second. Oh my God!
On his head. He's got the pin. That's it.
Jeez. Again, 2.5. These near falls now, it's anyone's ball game here. All one person needs to do is have one slip up, one mistake, and for another to capitalize and it's all over. Oh!
Every single one of those kicks going straight for the throat of Brian Cage.
Potentially looking for the ultimate weapon here. You talk about the knee strikes of Mike Bailey. Shooting star. Oh my God! Ultimate weapon connects 1, 2. Oh, but
2.99999.
Brian Cage kicking out of the ultimate weapons. The coup de grace of the arsenal that is Speedball Mike Bailey.
What does he do now? What can he do now? How do you put a man like Brian Cage down?
You have to wonder, Mike Bailey has to be going through the Rolodex of his arsenal, of his strikes, of his moves. How do I put away the machine? Well-placed strike. He might be out. Brian Cage could be out. One! I spoke too soon. 1 count. Brian Cage with authority, emphatically kicking out. Frustration beginning to build here from Speedball. He doesn't realize that he's being stalked. He's being sized up here. Up! Pop-up powerbomb. Holding on, Ben. He's holding on.
Oh, and again into that turnbuckle. This is it.
Once, twice. Oh, sit-out powerbomb. That could be all she wrote here.
Oh, he kicked out. How? How is this possible? And I think both the wrestlers are asking that very question right now, Sean.
You see the frustration beginning to mount. Again now looking for the drill claw. Up! Drill claw! That surely, God.
My goodness, what a match to open this evening.
You have to think, Brian Cage wasn't even sure if that was going to generate the 3 count there. At this point, you have to assume your opponent is kicking out of everything. What an opening bout. And what a showing from the World Series Wrestling Hall of Famer, Brian Cage. And as you've stated before, Ben, what's next for Mike Bailey? Straight to the airport, straight to New Japan, potentially when he returns here with more gold. What an absolutely exhilarating opening contest. Brian Cage, you can see there. I don't know what is going on here, maybe coming for seconds.
No.
Nope.
Cage is asking Bailey to come back into the ring, but Bailey wants none of it.
See, right, and you gotta have eyes in the back of your head here. Speedball not exactly trusting his opponent here. The man has just been dropped on his head.
More than once.
You can see a show of respect from the audience here tonight in Adelaide. Brian Cage extending the olive branch.
And a mutual show of respect for a fantastic bout to open here at Full Throttle in Adelaide, South Australia.